go. We are starting. All right, welcome everybody. And I'm going to invite you to start in a comfortable seat so that your spine is nice and long, inviting your breath all the way down your body. Long, smooth breaths. And today we are going to work on the quads and the full spine with a special focus on the neck and the low back. And so as you're breathing, I just want you to check in with all of your body and then specifically check in with your neck. You might move through your shoulders a little bit and check in with your hips. And then thinking about how you want to feel at the end of our practice today and setting your intention. And then when you're ready, let's start with you're going to have your hands on your legs or the floor, whatever comfortable. I want you to start to make big circles with your body, right? And they might start off as little circles, and then you might make them bigger. And you're feeling your butt on the floor as you're moving. You're noticing how it feels in your hips and in your core. And after a few times, we're going to go in the opposite direction. And so like for me, as I'm moving, I get a lot of information about, like, especially in the low back and my pelvis and how it's feeling. And eventually we'll come to a place where we stop, and then let's stretch out the legs. And if you have, does everybody have a tennis ball? If you have your tennis ball, we're going to, because we have a focus too on the quads, we're going to use the tennis ball underneath. So you're going to keep your butt on the floor, lift up the leg, and if you have two, you can do two at the same time. I just happened to grab one today. And you're going to put it right in front of the sits bone, but like I said, you're not sitting on it, right? And then you're going to move over that tennis ball. So I just have to take double the time because I have one tennis ball. And you might move side to side, you might move front to back, no pain, right? And again, what information is coming to you as you're rolling on this tennis ball? And I'm gonna switch sides. And of course, as we move through the practice today, I invite you to continue to keep your breath moving and paying close attention to sensation. Now, when you're done with both sides, and some of you may stay there a little bit longer, I want you to, and you can use your little fists, you can use your tennis ball, you can use the heels of your hands. I want you to gently, we're not going for like bruising, but gently pound on your quads and make sure to get the outside of the leg and a little bit towards the inside of the thigh. And you're still breathing. And if it doesn't feel good to do, little pounding motions, you might massage or roll the tennis ball. And when you're done with that, you're going to stretch out your legs, and some of you might have a little blanket under your sits bones to help you sit up nice and tall. You're going to keep the right leg extended, and then without using your hands, you're going to bring your left foot into the inner thigh, and you'll want to use your hands, but we're not going to, right? It's an experiment. And you're going to wiggle that knee up and down. And you're noticing, again, how it feels. Now we're going to stop wiggling that knee, and if your knee is way up in the air, you might use a block to support it, or you're going to settle it in towards the ground. You're going to take that left hand down, right arm reaches up. So we're going to reach over to the side, and you're keeping your butt on the ground. So if you see your butt starting to lift up, you're going to connect it down and keep breathing. So we're reaching over, breathing. You're going to turn your palm up towards the sky and then press. Like you're trying to lift the ceiling away from you. Keep breathing. And then turn your palm back down on the inhale, come on up. And we're going to take that knee and point it up towards the sky. And then that left hand is going to come behind you, right arm reaches up. Inhale, as you exhale, you're either going to take your hand or your elbow and start to bring your belly towards that inner thigh. And your head follows the chest, so whatever direction your chest is pointing, that's where your face is pointing. Long, smooth breaths. And it's really important here to make sure that you can still breathe fully. So it definitely changes how we breathe when we're twisted. And then nice big inhale, exhale, we're gonna turn back towards the front. Now you're gonna lift that foot off the ground, hold on to it, take it across the body. And some of you might hug the legs, some of you might hold the foot and the knee. We're gonna rock side to side. And you're still breathing. Now we're gonna take this foot and you're gonna cross it over the top of your thigh, and you're gonna keep the foot flexed. Inhale, arms up towards the sky, and exhale, you're gonna come towards your leg, right? But you're gonna try to keep your body and head and arms in alignment, so it's not rounding the back and dropping your arms. As I like to say, lead with your heart. And yes, that applies to all areas of life. And then on an inhale, let's come up. Now you're gonna take your hands down behind you. We're gonna bend that knee in the front, our straight leg, right? And use your hands efficiently. So if you can't be on your wrists, you could come down onto your forearms, but you wanna have your foot, this foot here, your right foot closer to your butt, because what we're gonna try to do is lift our hips up. So you're gonna lift up and down. And you're trying to keep that knee pressing away from you. And then next time you bring your hips down, we're gonna slide onto our elbows. And you're gonna keep your right foot stationary and start to cross over the body. So inhale would be leg parallel with the floor, exhale, reach that left foot towards the ground. And you're just kind of noticing, you know, how this feels in the low back, in the shoulders, even in your quad. Now, next time you come back up to center, we're gonna cross. You're gonna carefully make your way up onto your hands, stretch the legs out. Notice how you feel left to right, and then we're gonna take that right foot and bring it in, right? You all did great, no hands, right? People are like, how can you say no hands? You know, and it's just like it's like seeing how far we can bring up our foot without using our hands. And then whenever you're ready, you can settle your hands down. We're gonna wiggle through the knee, up and down, still breathing. And again, eventually we're gonna stop wiggling through the knee. And if your knee is lifted up a lot, you're gonna place a block underneath. Keep your hips on the ground. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. Nice big inhale as you reach over to the side. And then we're gonna keep our butt on the ground, and you're still stretching. And you're gonna continue to breathe. So we're not holding the breath, but we are holding the pose. And then you're gonna turn that palm up and start to press. And see if you notice the difference. Like as soon as I start to press up, it feels differently around my muscles and my bones. And keep breathing. And then we're gonna turn that palm down. Inhale, come on up. And you're gonna take that knee and poke it up towards the sky. So left hand down, right arm up, nope, wrong way. Inhale, nice big reach up. Exhale, come around. And again, either holding your arm or your elbow to the outside of the knee. Nice deep twist, belly towards the inner thigh. Head follows the body. Long, smooth breaths. And before we untwist, I want you to just take one nice deep breath and notice how that feels in your rib cage and your back body. And then next big inhale, let's lengthen the body. Exhale, come to the front. Now I'm trying to remember what sequence we did. We're gonna pick up the leg and rock it side to side. And again, you can hug that leg. We might mix up the sequence a little bit, but we'll get all the parts of the body covered. Now again, when you're done rocking, we're gonna place that leg, your bent leg, on the thigh, reach your arms up. And this is where we're going to come forward with the heart, keeping your arms and body in alignment. Inhale up, exhale, start to come forward. And just notice, like for some of us, that will start to pull in the low back, so then you don't go as far. On an inhale, we're gonna lift up and take our hands down and bend that front knee and take the foot closer to us. And again, this is where you're on your hands or your elbows. And you're gonna inhale, lift up, exhale, come down. Still pressing that knee away, moving with your breath. This will be our last one. And then we'll come on down and we'll all make our way down carefully onto our elbows. Inhale with the legs as they are. Exhale, reaching that right foot towards the floor. Inhale up, exhale down. Long, smooth breaths. Now, the next time that your leg comes up, we're going to carefully uncross and make our way up to a seated position. And before we come up to standing, I want you to take a comfortable seat so you can cross your legs or stretch your legs out, hands wherever they're comfortable. So here, the inhale is going to be head up. Exhale, take your chin towards your chest. Without overdoing it, moving in a way, and just kind of seeing what response you get from your upper back body and your neck. Now, the next time that you exhale the chin forward, we're going to keep the head tilting forward, and now you're going to reach your right ear towards the right shoulder so that head stays forward and you're just leaning over to the right. Inhale back to the center, and then exhale to the left. And we're going to go side to side with your breath without forcing anything, right? And you're noticing how it feels in your neck as you're moving. So it's not a big swinging of the head. Gentle glide or tilt. Next time you finish your second side and come back to center, we're going to lift the head up. And I want you to take one of your hands, it doesn't matter which one, and you're going to place the heel of the hand on your forehead. Right? And what I want you to do is start to press your forehead into your hand, and the hand is pressing into the forehead, right? So isometrically, and noticing which muscles engage as you're doing this, and keep breathing. And after your next exhale, we're going to release that hand, take your second hand, and again, do the same thing. And this is so that we get the muscles on both sides of the neck, gently pressing into the hand, hand pressing into the head, continuing to breathe. And then again, pausing. Now, we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. And so bring it and have you can fold your mat underneath you or place a blanket if you have one. And so heels of the hands slightly in front of the shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips. And we're going to stretch the right leg behind us, turn the toes under, and you're going to reach your heel towards the ground. And the idea here is to stretch the calf and the Achilles. And you're kind of pressing away with your hands and you're still breathing. Now we're going to carefully lift that leg up so it's parallel with the floor, bend the knee, press up towards the sky. Now stay with me here. We're going to take the left hand and reach back towards that foot or ankle and then press that foot towards the ceiling. So it's a little bit of a quad stretch, maybe. Now very carefully, we'll release the foot down to the ground, and then we're going to stretch the left leg behind us, toes turned under, reaching the heel towards the ground. That was really nice. And you're still breathing, noticing the wonderful sensations in your body. And we're going to start to lift that left leg up. And again, bending the knee so that the bottom of the foot points towards the sky, reaching back with your, maybe right hand, finding your foot or your ankle, and then reaching the foot towards the sky. Long, smooth breaths. And if you're, like my hand almost didn't come there right, you can just press your foot towards the ceiling, heel towards the buttock. And again, very carefully, we're going to release, eventually bringing that knee and hand down to the ground. Inhale up, tabletop position. Exhale, round the back, down into your child's pose. And let's just do that a couple of times with your breath. This is a great time to check in with your back body. And you could, if this doesn't work for your knees, you could be doing the same movement, laying on your back, bringing your knees towards your chest. Now, next time you come up to your tabletop position, let's make our way up to standing. And we'll start by finding your tennis ball. Then let's just roll one foot at a time. And this is a great time not only to check in on how it feels to roll your feet, but how's it going with the rest of your body? Are you feeling a little bit looser, stretched, warmer, none of the above? And if you haven't switched feet, now would be a great time. And again, just, noticing what information you get from rolling your feet. And even though I do this pretty much daily, it's, every day brings a little bit different information. So eventually we're going to come to a place where we stop rolling. Some of you might like a strap for this next part, and some of you might like to make your way to a wall or be in the center of the room. What we're going to do is take the right heel towards the buttock, and you want your bent knee close to your standing leg, so you're not reaching it out to the side. And then we're just going to move that knee front to back. And again, looking for information. Now, this is kind of like a precursor to dancer pose, but we're going to pause here for a moment, keeping the body upright. You're holding onto your foot or your ankle, and again, you're going to look for space between the heel and the buttock, keeping your body upright. Long, smooth breaths. And then relaxing that heel towards the buttock, you're going to slide your knee forward, slide your hand to the inside of the knee, and open your knee out to the side. And you're still breathing, right? Notice where your tongue is in your mouth. And then inhale back to the center of the knee, foot comes down to the ground. And we're going to switch sides. So again, at first, just reaching for your foot or your ankle, heel next to your buttock, towards your buttock. Bend knee close to your standing leg. Long, smooth breaths. And when you're ready, start to move that knee front to back. you're still breathing. Maybe you have a non-moving spot about 1 meter in front of you on the ground that you're focused on. Then eventually we're going to stop moving the knee, keep it near our standing leg, start to make space between the heel and the buttock, keeping your body upright. And you'll feel your body wants to come forward, but we're going to keep it upright at first. Keep breathing. And then relaxing that foot, we're going to slide the knee forward, bring your hand to the inside of the knee, and then start to open your knee out to the side. Breathe and focus. Knee is going to come back to the center, and then foot comes down to the ground. Now, once both feet are on the ground, have a comfortable stance. We're going to roll through the shoulders. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, slide your shoulders down your back body. Just moving with your breath. Your head might want to get in on some of the action. Eventually coming to a place where we pause that movement. We're going to have our feet maybe as wide as our mat. Hands are going to be on the hips. Now the lower part of the body, and again, always an exploration, you're going to connect your feet to the ground. We're going to try to keep the bottom of our body stable and move through the top part. So inhale, body upright. Exhale, heart toward the floor. Inhale, body upright. Exhale to the left. Inhale, body upright. Exhale to the back. Keeping your head in line with your body. Inhale up. Exhale right. Now this time we're going to switch directions. Inhale up, body forward. Inhale up, body right. Inhale up, body back. And last time to the left. Now we're going to add in the hips. So you're going to start to make a big circle. So we're not going to pause with each direction, but as big as is comfortable, right? Adding in your hips, you can bend your knees or keep your legs straight. And then we'll pause and go in the other direction. Sometimes that's a little challenge to switch directions. Oh, that's good. And the nice thing is no wrong way, right? Like as long as it doesn't hurt, it's all good. So eventually we're going to pause. Notice how you're feeling. I want you to connect to your left foot on the floor. And the movement is going to be, we're going to shift our weight into the left and take your right leg up, right? And then we're going to pause. You're going to always keep breathing though, right? So we're just working on the one side, right? So you're going to stay on your left leg, keep your right leg up, and we're going to pulse that leg out to the side a little bit. And your hands are wherever they balance you, on your hips, out to the side, on the wall. Keep breathing. And then we're going to take that leg down to the ground. And again, shift your weight into the right foot, ground down like you're growing roots. And then start to lift your left foot off the floor. And at first, you're just kind of shifting and noticing how your weight moves. And then we're going to keep the weight on the right foot and start to lift. A little bit of a pulsing movement. And eventually, again, we're going to take that foot down to the ground. And we still have our feet a little bit wide, maybe as wide as our mat. Now, hands are going to be on the hips. You might have a slight bend in your knees. Inhale, body upright. Exhale, halfway down. And we'll do that 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, body up. Exhale, coming forward. And this last time, we're going to hold the position, but you're going to keep breathing. Now you're going to, on your next exhale, we're going to take that left hand down to the ground or onto a block. And so your right hand is still on your hip. Now you're going to slowly start to twist your body to the right. And then maybe that right hand reaches up towards the sky. And your head is wherever it's comfortable. Looking at your hand straight ahead in line with your body, or looking up at your lifted hand. Still breathing. On an exhale, you're going to bring that right hand down to the ground. Left hand comes up onto your hips. And again, you're twisting your body to the left and thinking about the possibility of reaching that left arm up towards the sky. Long, smooth breaths. And on an exhale, we'll bring that hand down to the ground. Let's go back to the first side again. Slowly reaching your right arm up as your body twists to the right. On an exhale, right hand comes down. Inhale, left arm comes up. We'll do it one more time on each side. No rush, moving with your breath. Noticing where you feel sensation in your body as you're moving. And as we finish that second side, we're going to keep our hands on the ground or on the block, and you're going to walk your feet a little bit wider. So some of you might change the direction on your mat. Okay, now your feet are parallel, your legs are wide, your hands are on the floor or on the block. And we're going to do that same motion, but now the legs are a little bit wider. So left hand stays on the ground as the right arm reaches up. Notice how it may or may not feel differently in this different position. Exhale, hand down. Inhale, left arm up. And again, we're going to do it a couple more times on each side with your breath, moving at your own pace. You might have a bend in your knees. If your legs are too wide, you bring them close together, or vice versa. And the next time you finish your left side, you come to the center. Again, your hands are on the blocks of the floor. We're going to start to bend the right knee and walk your hands over there. So for most of us, we get a stretch on the inner thigh. Now stay with me here. You may or may not do this next part. So you're going to take your left hand and bring it onto the right leg somewhere. And the right hand is going to come up onto your hip. You're going to straighten out that right leg and lengthen your body. And then you might take that right hand up towards the sky. So again, a twist in a different way. Long, smooth breaths. When you're ready to come out, you'll bend the knee. The right knee, bring your right hand down, untwist the body, walk your hands back to the center, straighten the right leg and start to walk your hands over to the left, bending the knee. And at first we just feel that wonderful little stretch in maybe the inside of your thigh. And then possibly you're going to take that right hand someplace onto the left leg, left hand up onto your hip, straightening your leg and lengthening your body, and then possibly reaching that left arm up towards the sky, making sure you can still breathe fully. And when you're ready to come out, the hand comes down, the left knee bends, both hands come to the floor, you walk your way to the center. Now we're going to bring those hands up to the lower back or onto your hips, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, body comes up. Make sure you're not too dizzy. And then let's step those feet together. Very nice. Now, once your feet are together, we're going to roll through the shoulders one more time. And somebody said, you're doing this quite a bit lately. That's because I need it. I assume if I need it, everybody else does, right? So inhale, shoulders up. Roll them down the back. Wiggle your arms or your hands. Now we're going to find a strap or a sock or something that allows you to have a little bit of length between your hands. Some of you might be able to connect your hands without the strap, but I want you to make sure that you can move through your shoulders. So comfortable stance with your feet. Inhale, you're gonna take the strap up behind you. Your body's gonna wanna drop forward, but again, you're gonna keep it upright. So inhale, arms up, exhale, down. Inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down. And one more time. Now, once your hands are back at the lower back, we're gonna inhale, body upright, exhale into your forward bend. And then inhale, take the hands away from the low back. Keep breathing, making sure that there's no discomfort. Now we're gonna reach the hands to the left. So you're still connected with your strap. Inhale, arms back to the center. The body is still in a forward bend. Reach the hands to the right, back to the center. With an exhale, hands come to the lower back, press your feet into the floor. Inhale, come on up. How are we doing? All right, so since we have a strap in our hands, let's have the strap in the left hand, and you're going to take your left elbow up towards the sky and walk your right hand towards the left, so you have one elbow pointing up and one elbow pointing down. And again, comfortable stance, maybe knees are bent, you're connected to the floor. Inhale is going to be, can't go back any further. Inhale, body upright. Exhale, you're going to reach to the right. Inhale up and exhale down. And not going too far right, because we're working with the rib cage and your side bodies and intercostal muscles, so you don't want to overdo it. And one more time. And when you come upright, we're going to switch hands. And again, walking your hands towards one another, comfortable stance, you're grounded through your feet. Inhale up and exhale, reach to the left. Again, one more. We'll come up and then carefully release your hands. We're going to take the strap in front. And again, some of you could interlace your hands and do it that way. You're going to have the hands in front. Your hands are about shoulder distance apart. The inhale, you're going to take your arms up overhead. You're gently pulling on the strap. Exhale, you're going to sit into your chair. And if your feet are an uncomfortable distance apart, fix that so that you're comfortable moving up and down. Inhale up. Exhale into your chair. Now this last time that we come into our chair position, we're going to hold that position. Your vision is towards your hands. Keep breathing. And then with an exhale, we'll gently slide into a forward bend. And then as we're in our forward bend, you're going to take your feet wider than your shoulders. And your hands are on the ground. And so you might need to bend your knees to have your hands on the ground. I was thinking we might do a little arm balance here. So see how it feels in your body. And if you've never done this before, we're going to do crow pose or bakasana. You can watch first. So hands are on the ground. You're going to inhale, have your legs straight. Exhale, bend the knees and bring your hips towards the floor, right, to kind of prime up your hips and your core. Then we're going to bend the elbows, take your shins towards your triceps, and possibly lift one or both feet off of the ground. And remember, like, it's not pushing with the feet, it's a gentle lift. All right, Abby, take your hands a little bit further apart. Yeah, not too far, but, and you're beautiful. You're breathing,
And you might just lift one toe off the ground today, right? Or one foot. And then maybe you do both, but you don't press with your feet because you could totally do a face plant. You can all see that coming.
You're hearing that, yes.
And just know, for a long time I said this is all about arm strength, and I didn't have any, which wasn't true, but it's really about your core and finding your balance, like shifting your hips. It's really more about finding the right placement of your hips than anything else. But that being said, if it feels like you're gonna fall, keep your feet on the floor, okay? Now, when you're ready, you're gonna come down towards the ground. We're gonna bring our butt onto the floor. That was awesome.
Thanks for trying it out. And then before we move on, I just want you to take your one hand in front and you're gonna point your fingers towards the ground, kind of pull your hand towards your body. So we're stretching our wrists in the opposite direction. For some people, that particular pose is wrist heavy. And then second side. And notice your breath. Notice any thoughts like, oh, that was awesome, or oh, that sucked, just kind of notice what you're thinking. Now, we're gonna roll through your hands, right? Making sure you do both directions. Then we're gonna interlace the fingers, and a couple of times in each direction. No right or wrong. Nice. Now, are we ready to do one more little thing? It's a little bit strenuous, and I don't know if all of you have done this with me before. So we're gonna try it and see how it goes, okay? Always options. So if you're not feeling like doing what we're doing, you might do legs up the wall or some rolling around on your back. We're gonna make our way onto our elbows. Take your knees slightly behind your body. So we're gonna start off in a modified plank, right? Meaning that we're on our elbows. So your body and your legs are flat. So option would be to have your knees on the ground. And then I want you to push with your feet so that your body's coming forward and you're exploring, right? Noticing how that feels. And then we're gonna push forward with our toes, reach our hips up towards the sky and start to make circles with our chest. And it takes a little bit of practice to figure this out, right? So circle, and then you're gonna pause and explore the other direction. And it's very interesting talking while you do this. And it's a lot of work, especially when you're first learning it. So whenever you're ready, you're gonna take your knees down to the ground, wrap your arms around your legs, or make your way onto your back body and take your knees in towards your chest. How did that feel? Pretty good? Has everyone done that before? Okay, I didn't think so. All right, so when you're ready, we are going to make our way onto our back body. And again, always thinking about how you're moving, right? What's the safest way to get onto your back? What a relief, huh? All right, so here we are. Let's have our backs on the ground, feet off the ground, and your knees kind of, moving in the direction, they're not moving, but they're leaning in the direction of your body. And I just want you to notice which parts of your body are connected to the floor. And then we're going to stretch the legs up towards the sky and bring your hands onto your legs. And at first, we're just going to glide your hands up your legs and find a spot where they can rest. And the inhale is going to be legs away from the body. The exhale, you're going to start to bring your legs towards your body. And you could do this with straight legs, or you can do it with bent knees, whichever feels better in your body. Now, eventually we're going to come to a place where our legs are perpendicular to the ground. We're going to take our arms now parallel with our legs, so both our arms and our legs are perpendicular to the ground. And I want you to wiggle your right fingers and your left toes. So right fingers, left toes. Inhale, right arm, left leg, come down to the ground. Exhale, back to the center. Second side, always opposite arm and leg. Inhale as you come to the floor. Exhale as you come back to center. The arm and leg that are not moving are not moving. How's that? So that means that one arm and leg are stationary while the other two are moving. It's a little bit of a game with your brain, right? Now, eventually, when you finish your second side, we're gonna pause, bring your knees in towards your chest, and you might take some circles with your knees, or you might just hold on to them. And then we're going to find our block. If you have a practice that you do full shoulder stand, this would be the place that you can do that. And if you want to, if you do want to do that, I would love that you have a blanket underneath your shoulders. And if we're not doing full shoulder stand, I want you to take your block and place it under the pelvis so it's not on the lumbar spine, but it's just on the pelvis, and you'll bring your legs up towards the sky one at a time. Now, another option here would be to have your legs up the wall and your back body flat on the floor. Long, smooth breaths. And if you're up on the block, you might think about taking your shoulder towards the floor and opening up the chest a little bit. And this is a time that I want you to ask yourself, is there anything else that my body needs right now? Right, so you might want to move through your legs, into wide angle or into little splits, or like into a modified happy baby, or you might want to come off the block and do something else. If you're in a full shoulder stand, you're going to eventually make your way down onto the ground and do, extend your body into like Shavasana pose so that you can counter your shoulder stand. But eventually you're going to make your way down to the ground with your feet, one at a time. Lift your hips up, take the block out. Check in, is there anything else that you need? And then you're going to think about how you want to be for Shavasana. And so getting yourself into that comfortable position. Taking a few long, smooth breaths. So ever so gently starting to bring your awareness back to your body, to your breath, back to the room. Noticing how you're feeling and possibly even remembering how you thought you would want to feel after practice today. And eventually, maybe coming up to a comfortable seated position in your own time. And for our breathing practice today, I'm going to invite you to place your hands on your ribs. Right? So, and just kind of feel where are my ribs? Place your hands on your ribs. And I want you to take, 3 or 4 nice, deep, slow breaths. Inhale. And you're noticing where, if you feel sensation, right? And then once you have created a rhythm, you feel that rhythm, you can release your hands and see if you can still breathe in nice full breaths. And a thought for reflection would be, what would it take for me to continue to breathe full breaths as I move through life today? And then taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up, for doing the practice. What might you do throughout the day to continue to breathe fully? And then I'm going to invite you to close with our 3 healing sounds that I love. Inhaling your arms up towards the sky, exhaling the hands to the heart as you say the sound HU. Inhaling the arms out to the sides with the palms open, the sound will be ah to the heart. And then inhaling, scooping up from the ground, the sound and just pausing for a moment and noticing, any calmness or vibration, or what do you feel from those sounds in your body, in your mind. And thank you so much for being here. Namaste. And hopefully I'll see some of you again next week. I'm going to scoot up here and turn off. It's a long scoot today.
turn off our recording.